Let's have a mindful moment. I wanted to remind you that you have to constantly reset the nervous system and even get yourself used to the feeling of peace. Peace can often be uncomfortable at first if you're used to having a dysregulated nervous system, if you're used to being under stress, anxiety, tension, duress, having a lot of pressure all the time, feeling like you're overwhelmed. When you suddenly go from one extreme to the other, it's not going to feel like something is right. You're going to feel like something is off, something is missing, and you might even go searching for it subconsciously. It's not like you're going to be there like, oh, I miss stress. I really want stress to come back. No, of course not. However, you're programmed this way from being dysregulated. So you have to start to incorporate moments of peace and get used to it little by little. So doing things like having some tea, listening to the birds, reading a book, spending time in nature in whatever way you like to, whether that's the beach or a hiking trail, going biking, whatever. But doing these things in small increments. This isn't anything you haven't heard before. That's why I said it's a reminder. Because a lot of times we don't understand exactly why patterns keep repeating in our life, but it's because we're not actively taking the steps to break those patterns. Or maybe we start taking the steps and then we stop. So we start having a nice routine in the morning, and then what happens? I mean, you oversleep, you don't feel well, you have your time of the month, whatever the thing is, and it can just totally throw you off balance. So this is your reminder, get back on track. You can have inner peace. You deserve to have inner peace. You are inner peace at your core. And by doing these little miniature moves each day, it's going to reprogram your mind. It's going to reset your nervous system. And not only do I have a nervous system reset, the NSR method by Aura, but there's so many videos out here on that. You can check every platform, whatever platform you're most comfortable with. If you want longer form content, you can just search up nervous system reset or nervous system regulation, things like that. But like I said, find the things that you don't feel such an aversion to. So if you enjoy reading and you love reading, then sitting down with a book for a few minutes every day or every other day, that could be your thing. But if you hate reading, don't force yourself to read. Like, don't take on the habits just because you saw it in someone's video and you're like, oh, I want to do that, or I want to be more like that person. So you try to take on their routines and habits. Well, you have to curate it specifically for you. So maybe you need to journal about this or write out a list, put some notes in your phone, just do a check-in, because we also change over time. Like sometimes the things you enjoyed before, it's not going to be the same. But let me know in the comments what type of self-care you guys are doing. This channel is all about inner work, self-care, self-love, empowerment, growth, evolution, consciousness, mindfulness, and also just being true to who you are, because I don't think that we have to be just one way. We're multifaceted beings. Many of us are multi-potentialites. If you don't know what that is, it means you're a multi-passionate person. You have various talents, and many of them might even be like at equal level, like you're really good at each of these things. And you know how they say jack of all trades, master of none? Multi-potentialites are masters of multiple trades. Okay, so throwing that out there as well, if you've been hard on yourself, telling yourself to niche down, niche down. One of the main reasons I created Vibes Lifestyle is not only so that I could share these inspired living tips and magazine articles and videos and all of these things, but it's because it's a lifestyle. It's a whole lifestyle. We are whole entire beings. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm gonna have my breakfast because it's just been sitting here. Let's see if I can show this to you. Ta-da! It's blueberry waffles. Ooh, lost a blueberry. It's blueberry waffles with blueberries and walnuts and maple syrup and cinnamon. And the tea that I was having is Our Art of Cha Pu'er, which you can actually get these pu'er cakes on our site. And I added the pu'er to a chai that I have. And then I got really fancy and I added my lavender poppy seed gelato as like the sweetener. So you know how you get like a lavender syrup or something like that? And I put some cinnamon in there too. So this is really good. But I drink pu'er not only every day, but definitely in the morning. Like one of the first things I do is sometimes I'll have an acai juice. Sometimes I'll just have like blueberries, bananas, apricots, strawberries, like some fruit, some walnuts. If I'm in the mood, I will make waffles or pancakes. And pu'er, it just really aids in your digestion, and in my digestion, I'll say, because this is not health advice at all. This is, you know, just me sharing my personal favorites and what works for me. And pu'er tea is basically an aged, fermented tea that has been pressed into cakes. Not always, but in this instance, I have the mini, they're like little mini pu'er cakes. And actually, let me just show it to you. VL Baby Bob's Lifestyle. But yeah, so cute, right? And these little babies. So you can really just pop one into a teapot, however you want to, or a strainer, whatever you have. And you can also, just like this, break it in half if you want to make a smaller amount. Ta-da! I mean, how fun is that, right? But yeah, you can just put this into whatever type of strainer or teapot or vessel that you have, your brewing vessel. And for me, right now, it's this glass teapot. And you just add your hot water, usually at the highest possible temperature, and let it steep for maybe 5 minutes or so. Once again, depending on how strong you like it, because it has like a nice, robust, earthy flavor, but in a good way. If you like coffee, you would probably like this, especially because you can just add anything you want to it. As I told you, I added chai, I added lavender poppy seed gelato, I added cinnamon, and it was delicious. It's great on its own though. When I drink it by itself, I usually do these smaller cups. For those who drink espresso, you may be used to things like that, but in tea culture, usually you would brew your tea and sip out of a smaller drinking vessel because you want to savor the flavor of the tea. So I'm gonna have my breakfast, and I hope you enjoyed this mindful moment. If so, give me a like, give me a follow. We can be friends. Ciao.